Alright, we're here today with a Destiny 2 exotic weapons tier list. Let's get into it. Now, first one up is Ace of Spades. It's an S tier. It has every perk in the game on it. Not actually. It's got Firefly, which is just by itself an amazing perk in PvE or PvP. In PvP, you get the added reload speed of the perk, which is very powerful, and it can be combined with the Warlock exotic Chromatic Fire to literally get a team wipe off of proccing the explosion. On top of that, it gets Memento Mori, which makes it so that it hits for 90 on a head, and if procced with Radiance, it makes it a 2-tap. Very, very powerful hand cannon, and it's also in the strongest hand cannon archetype in the game as of this moment. Next up, we have Anarchy. In PvP, it is hot trash. It is an F tier. There's nowhere else for it to go. It just sucks. Um, Next up, we have Arbalest. I'd put Arbalest B tier right now. Fun to use, but it's not the best option in any way, shape, or form. Still a fairly good pick, even after all of the nerfs that it's been handed. Bad Juju is going to go C tier. The biggest problem is it shoots with a lightweight damage frame, which means you have to hit every headshot in all 3 bursts in order to get a 3-tap. And unless you really get Strain of Curses going, you're really not doing too much with it. It's much better suited in PvE or Momentum. Now we have, I believe that's the Black Talon Sword, which is a very strong sword in Crucible. I think you can get 3 or 4 kills with the heavy attack before you run out of ammo. It's just a very high tracking, high damage, heavy weapon. Now keep in mind we are ranking primary ammo guns against other primary ammo guns, special weapon guns against other special weapon guns, and heavy weapons against other heavy weapons. Next up we have Borealis, and as of the recent changes, I would argue it is an S or A tier. I know a lot of people would hate me if I were to put it into S tier, but we'll stick with A for now. The amount of aim assist you get for running this gun with its void typing is disgusting. Like, it's probably the highest aim assist on any sniper in the game. And if you run it with arc, then you just have the strongest form of snapshot in the game. Next up we have Cerberus, which, while fun to use, is not really good. It's gonna go in the C tier, even though I really want to put it into D tier just because of funny moments that do happen where it will sometimes just absolutely shred people for no reason. And I'm going to lump all of the trace rifles into the B tier. They are all fun to use, but none of them particularly stand out against the other, except for Divinity being weird sometimes and just making a super crit bubble for no reason. The only exception is going to be Age Receptor or Ag Receptor. Never did really care about the proper pronunciation of that word. And the only reason I put that higher is because of how it performs in Mayhem. Am I missing one? Where's my Wave Splitter? And my Ruinous Effigy. There's Ruinous. There's Wave Splitter. There we go. Yeah, all of them performed just about the same. Fairly well, but not an outstanding pick over either their legendary counterparts or even primary ammo. Next up, we have Crimson. I'm going to put Crimson A tier. The health regen is extremely powerful. The time to kill is extremely good. I feel like it just gets edged out by a couple of legendary weapons when it comes to ease of use. Especially for mouse and keyboard players, I know they love to complain about this gun. Darcy and Whisper are both hot trash. I don't care. you you shouldn't be using a heavy sniper. Like, if you're going to use a heavy and it's going to be a precision based form, then it should be a linear, just because the exotic snipers are not worth the slot that they're in for Crucible. Though I will give Whisper a very large shout out for PvE, and both in the past and as of right now. Next we have Deathbringer, probably one of the strongest heavy weapons in the game. The fact that you can just shoot a rocket, forget about it, and it will sometimes just magically track people down is a lot of fun. Next up we got Ariana's Vow, which, strong pick with the right build, not something I would personally use. It can pop off a lot in momentum control, and with a bow swap or hand cannon swap build, it can be very powerful. Now we have probably my favorite PvP exotic, Fighting Lion. Biases aside, I am going to put it A tier. Someone good with Fighting Lion can absolutely destroy an entire team by themselves, especially with the right build. Fighting Lion, with a direct hit, will chunk someone's health bar so low that they will barely be able to move afterwards. Like, if they were to peek you, they'd get one tapped by a single body shot from a 300 RPM sidearm. It's just the chunk damage that Fighting Lion can put in against other Guardians, as well as the area control you get with it is absurd. Next on our list is Graviton Lance, and I believe after its recent buff it belongs in the A tier. It is competing with every scout rifle in the game, most pulse rifles in the game, and you can get some crazy sprees going with it. It's a very annoying gun to fight against based off of how it shoots. Now we have Hardlight, which is a shadow of its former self. It belongs in the C tier. It is neither good nor bad, but it is never the best pick, and there's a lot of guns better than it. Izanagi's fun to screw around with, not really a good option. It's going to go in the D tier. You're only getting the one-tap bodies if you stack up all 4 chains. Now we have the Toaster, everyone's favorite fusion rifle. I seriously hope that it's no one's favorite fusion rifle. It's B tier. It's a good gun. I hate playing against it. It's easy to counter, but it's just, when you hear a Toaster charging up, you know that it's just about to be a bad game. Lamanark, previous seasons I would have used S tier, haven't used it since its nerf. From what I heard, it's gone down significantly, probably an A or a B tier from where it used to be before. I'll do some testing on that, might reevaluate the video, yada yada yada. Moving on. Legend of Acrius. It's better than all the snipers, I'll give it that. Still hot trash. Leviathan's Breath. Slightly better, we'll go C tier. Lord of Wolves. Meh, we'll go B tier. Used to be a solid S tier. Competing at ranges it should not have been able to, but it got nerfed heavily, and for good reason. Luma. A tier. It is probably one of the most consistent hand cannons in the game, and it gives a very, very strong buff. And on top of that, it's just all around one of the more consistent feeling 140s. And it's a lot of fun to do a healer build and just make your entire round match goal to keep your teammates alive. Malfeasance, as of right now, is D tier for Crucible. Even after its buffs, it's still a 180. 180s will never be good in Crucible unless they get some serious reworks. Merciless is A tier. At base, S tier with Catalyst. consistent fusion rifle, high damaging fusion rifle, high ranged fusion rifle, and once you get it going, it becomes one of the fastest firing fusion rifles. Now we have the Mida multi-tool, which I'm gonna say is C tier as of right now. It's a scout rifle, which is hurting a lot in the meta. They need to get some buffs to make them worth using. Yeah. Monte Carlo also. Now we'll put Monte B tier. A lot of fun to use this with either shoulder bash or throwing knives. It's so good. 1K in the right hands in Crucible can be S tier, but for the average player, it's probably a B or a C. We're gonna go with C. Um, Odds are you're gonna kill yourself while using it, just because this gun likes to kill the person using it a lot. Still a good gun. Has pretty much infinite range, but if you don't tag the person with it, then they're not gonna die, and that's kind of important. Outbreak. I know a lot of people swear by Outbreak because, oh, no recoil, yada yada yada. I'm not a huge fan on Outbreak in PvP. I'm gonna put it B tier, but all it has going for it is no recoil, but because of the frame equivalent for it, so a lightweight, it just does not hit hard enough for me to justify using it over a legendary pulse rifle. Polaris Lance, D tier. Yes, getting that explosion is satisfying. Yes, it deals a little extra damage. Really not going to increase your TTK enough to justify running that. If you're dead set on a scout, you can use a legendary 150 and get away just fine. Rackeen's A tier. You get a 6 stack using that, and you're gold for the entire match. Y'all just like run around and hide in little corners, being invisible and shooting at 5,000 rounds per minute. Risk Runner's D tier. Unless you're in a match with arc weapons being used like crazy, or arc supers, which it moves up to B or A tier, but on average, Risk Runner C tier, it's just a below average adaptive frame SMG. Skyburner's Oath, C tier, fun to use, but there are better things than it. Yeah. Sleeper Simulant, S tier. It'll one-shot body. Don't need to worry about precision. The refraction rounds can kill people around corners. Very powerful pick if you're dead set on using a charge weapon in your heavy slot. Storm is A tier. If paired with Drain, it turns it into a 2-tap. It is a crap ton of damage, and you're not going to complain about using Drain anyway, because it's possibly one of the top 3 sidearms in the game as of right now. Next, we have Sunshot in the right hands, S tier. The average player's hands, A tier. Higher rate of fire, higher flinch because of explosive rounds, better time to kill than a 140, harder to control, really bright on your screen makes it annoying to use. It's not a bad gun. It's a really good gun. Not one that I would typically use. Service Regime, as of right now, is C tier. The random health regen that you get from getting a kill is fun, but yeah, it's an auto rifle and a not auto rifle meta. But that meta is slowly coming back, so I think we'll be fine. Sweet Business is D tier, unless you're tight using Actium War Rig, because then shits and giggles make it S tier for no reason. Even more so when you have 6 people using it, especially after its new buff, where it has that exploding bullet that makes you want to cry in Momentum or regular Crucible. And yeah. Teraba has been S tier for a very long time. It has recently gotten nerfed a fair bit. They got the 750 nerf, and it's gotten a zoom nerf, I believe. It's going to drop it down to A tier. It's still a very strong gun. It didn't get hit as hard as people thought it was going to. B, but it's fine. We'll come back to this guy later. I promise. We'll come back. Chaperone's S tier. I don't feel like I need to explain, but I will. Um, Luminifactions, Empowering Rift, one-shot headshot at 18 plus meters. Pick me later. Colony is A tier. Easy to use, easy to stack kills up on it. There are better options though. Huckleberry's D tier, I don't care what you say, especially if you're on controller, and it makes me angry to play with. Its reticle sometimes is not at the same place where the bullets will go, because there's something fucked up with its coding. Pardon my French. But, yeah, it will sometimes not shoot where you're pointing, and that is annoying. Until that bug gets fixed, it's going to stay there, and once it does get fixed, it'll probably move up to B tier. Jade Rabbit, as of right now, is S tier for no apparent reason. I hate that gun. I hate that it's good. It makes me angry that it's good. I have trauma. Last word. A tier. There are better options than it. There are worse options than it. It's a lot of fun to use. If you have lucky pants, use that. Prospector. I really want to like this gun because it's a really funny gun to use. But realistically, it's D tier unless you want to sit there and hold your trigger forever while waiting for someone to run by where you left it. F tier. I hate this gun. It sucks so badly. Wardcliff, S tier. Extremely high tracking, lots of rockets. It's pretty much the rocket launcher form of a shotgun. It's really funny. And you're either going to kill the entire enemy team or kill yourself. 50-50 odds, but it's S tier. Thunderlord is F tier for Crucible. There are better legendary machine guns to use, and there are better exotic machine guns to use. Tractor Cannon, C tier because of funny booping people off map time. Thorn, S tier. I don't like using Thorn, but it is undoubtedly one of the strongest exotics in the game. Trinity Goal is D tier. I don't care what people say. It's not good in Crucible unless you're playing Momentum, and that is the only exception. Truth, C tier. Fun to use. Not really the strongest rocket launcher right now, but it's still got some decent tracking. Two-tailed fox is better. We're going to put it A tier because 2 rockets shooting at once is better than getting 1 rocket in a rocket that has a 3-round magazine, because that makes sense. Vigilance Wing is B tier or C tier, but that's just because the average player is not a full solo player. And by that I mean they aren't only playing Rumble as the only game mode they will play. And if they are, I still wouldn't use Vigilwing because usually the maps are not big enough for that to be the correct option. Wish Ender, B tier right now, just because of Keepers be Dum Dum. Worldline, probably gonna be C or B tier. It suffers because it's a sword in a world where we have the perk Eager Edge. So, yeah. Xenophage is S tier. This is the machine gun I was referencing when I said that Thunderlord is bad even compared to the legendary machine guns. 2 taps at any range, crap ton of aim assist for no reason, and 1 taps in momentum because why not? Will 2 or 3 tap someone out of a super, I believe. Only suffering is no crit damage, but that doesn't matter anyway because this thing just does not care. Bastion. If you're looking to take down a barricade or a bubble, here's your gun. Otherwise, it's just a shadow of what it used to be. Devil's Ruin, A tier. It's funny. It's good. Pair it with Mechanair's Trick Sleeves and you're golden. Symmetry, C tier. It needs a buff. It's a scout rifle. We know how scout rifles do right now. Fourth Horseman is D tier. Really funny to get the 2 tap on people. Still not going to justify using it. Tommy's is B tier. A tier with the right build. Strong gun, fun to use, not the best option. Heir apparent, gonna go right there as the in-between for Xeno and Thunder. But yeah. Traveler's Chosen is A tier, ability regen, best archetype for sidearms, and high range. Don't know what else to say. Wither Horde is A tier, but only in modes that have zone. Otherwise, you're just being a stupid little guy. Cloud Strike is S tier. Anything that gives you the potential to wipe an entire team in a single shot, because why not, is going to be good. Duality is the best shotgun in the game. You can't change my mind. Shut up. Pellet Spread is ridiculously strong on precision frame, which is what Duality counts as. And the slug mode at base can hit at about 10 meters. So, you know, slightly above average, but it's fine. Eyes is probably B tier in Crucible. S tier in Gambit, though. Keep in mind. But A tier in Crucible. Just extreme tracking. Probably going to get a few kills. It's fine. No Time to Explain as of right now is probably an A tier gun. I would rather use the Duality Pulse or a Messenger as a kinetic high impact pulse rifle. But No Time still has its place, especially on Arc Warlocks using Arc Souls. Trash and Crucible, can't change my mind, don't care about the buff. People who use this in Crucible are weird, and little bitches who like to hide in corner and block because they don't want to actually play the game. Fun fact, the solution to that is just throw a Vortex or a Solar Grenade at them, and watch them block so much damage with the Solar Grenade that they eventually ignite and die. And if they have the Vortex Grenade on them, then they'll just get weakened, and you can like 2-tap them with a shotgun or blast them with primary, and they won't be able to make it through. They'll be fine. Hawk Moon is an A tier, would be S if you didn't need to hit all of the precision hits, except for I think one in order to get the 1-tap. The level of accuracy required, while doable, is not something that can be generously considered an acceptable amount for an S tier ranked gun. Deadman's is also going to go into the A tier. Even after its nerf, it is still a good gun. It needed that nerf to bring it in line with all of the other guns. It's fine where it is. Tiku's is D. People who use it don't like to actually play the game. They just want to sit in a corner, cause burn tick damage, and then shoot you with a big exploding arrow because they don't know how to use a real gun. Prestige is A tier. Pair with a sniper and weighted throwing knives. Trust me, it's fun. You're gonna get a lot of kills. Vex Mythoclast is B tier for shits and giggles with the 1-tap linear mode. Very fun and momentum, take my word for it. Lorenz is going in the same place as Arby's, right next to it. They're pretty much the exact same thing, except this one can kill a couple of people at a time. But I like Arby's more. Forerunner's in A tier. Powerful gun, don't really need to say more. It's been the meta, or in the meta, for a very long time now. I might be getting sick again, don't worry about it. Gallahorn, S tier. Easy team wipes, great tracking. Even if you miss the rocket, the little guys will catch up and kill them anyway. Dead Messenger, C tier post nerf. If you're going to use it, I recommend pairing it with the Arc Warlock slide melee. All exotic glaives belong in F tier. They don't need to be any higher than this. They get outperformed in Crucible by their legendary counterparts. Grand Overture, also F tier. Don't use a charged machine gun in Crucible. You're just weird if you do it. Osteos D tier, people who use it can't aim. Parasite is F tier. If you use it, you throwing, you're only going to get 1, maybe 2 kills if you're lucky with it, and it's going to take forever. And you better hope that your aim is absolute god tier. Collective Obligation is B tier. Really good with Gear Falcons and Crucible. Just have fun with it. It's not a great gun. It's not an awful gun. Make sure you have the ornament. Heart Shadow, D tier. It was made for PvE. It's not really great. It's not really awful. It's fine. But there's just everything above it is a better option, including things in its own list. Trespassers in A tier. If you can start chaining the perk, it's very, very powerful. It's nothing against this gun. I love this gun for PvE. It is just not consistent enough for PvP, especially in hipfire. Great for momentum, though. Quicksilver Storm, probably a B tier consistent auto rifle, has the Strand subclass, which makes it fun with Strand builds. Their grenade can be fun sometimes. All around an okay gun. Gets outperformed by a lot of other guns in this list, though. Dutch of Malice, C tier. Not awful, not great. It's fine, but scout rifle, so you know. Hierarchy's going in the same place as TQs for different reason, though. If you use it, you can aim. I will give you that. But why are you using this bow over literally any other legendary or Layman arc? Just, it doesn't make sense. Revision is B tier if you got mediocre aim, or S tier if you have god tier aim. We're going to leave it with B because the majority of the player base doesn't have 100% headshot accuracy rate that's required to make this gun actually good. Manticore, for all the crap it was given, is a B tier gun. It's fun, it's good, especially if you have a volatile build going that you can proc in Crucible. It's going to shred through people. F tier. There's 0 point to it. You can proc volatile so many other ways than using a heavy machine gun for it. If you want to use a heavy machine gun, Xeno. It's all you need to look at. Or just use a legendary if you want a separate void one to use. Corrective measure, retrofit escapade. Final warning is a solid B tier. I stand by that it requires 0 aim, just like with TQs and Osteo, but that's fine because this gun is new and fun, and we like it. Vergilus Curve, F tier for Crucible. It's a lightweight frame bow, but you can't control any of the perks on it, and all it does is make stasis crystals. Stasis crystals are only good on things that you can mag dump, not bows in Crucible. I will stand by that. Maybe a slug shotgun. Or a sniper, but still, no. Conditional finality, S tier. I've been getting killed by it left and right. Still need to get me one of these, but the spread pattern on it is very consistent, even if it's weird. Then we have Telesto. It's the besto. That's all I really have to say. It is the best gun for breaking the game in existence, and that's all it needs to be, because that's all it was really made for. I don't care what the Bungie devs say. This gun only needs to be here to make people who play this game have funny moments. That's it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments if you're new. I'll see you next time.